life of our wonderful British royal family. So coming up on the show today, we take a look behind all the latest headlines, of course involving Harry and Meghan. What has the Queen discovered underneath the floorboards during the renovations of her beloved palace, Buckingham Palace? And has Prince Harry been inspired by his recent trip to Abbey Road with rocker Jon Bon Jovi? And is it true that Meghan Markle could become something of a marvel in Hollywood? The truth behind all those stories coming up on the Royal Week. Well, the row keeps going on and on about who will fund the security once Harry and Meghan depart from royal duties finally next month. Now, one of the suggestions is that Her Majesty the Queen actually funds this particular security bill, which could top around about 20 million. But as a one-time royal close associate, Ken Wharf, tells me, it really isn't all about Harry and Meghan. It's more about the security of course, baby Archie. Now, he could be a real security threat, simply because, of course, there could be kidnap plots. And as we've just seen in the last week, Meghan's decided to leave baby Archie over in Canada while she came over here to do some final duties with Prince Harry. Whatever the outcome, the bill is going to be astronomical. But in a recent poll here on Breakfast TV, it appears that UK citizens totally believe that if the royals aren't performing any royal duties, then they shouldn't have to fund the tax bill for their security. So it looks like Prince Harry could be asking Disney for more than a voiceover. So Meghan Markle was back in town, but where was baby Archie? All that coming up later on in this show. Now, one of my favourite royal palaces is Buckingham Palace. In fact, it's possibly one of the most visited attractions in the world. Now, the Queen, well, she's not exactly homeless, as you know. She has a few homes, including Sandringham, Balmoral, and of course Windsor Castle. But right now, Buckingham Palace is being renovated at a cost of millions. That's because it hasn't been touched for decades. But some of the finds that the builders have come up with have been absolutely brilliant, including, well, some rather authentic and very old cigarette packets and copies of newspapers dating back to 1954. One, the London Evening News, which of course emerged and mounted into the Evening Standard in 1980. Now, my spies tell me that what will happen with this particular sort of artifacts is that they could end up on display at the annual summer opening of Buckingham Palace just towards the end of the summer, which is hugely popular and always has a brilliant exhibition. It will be fascinating to see what else they find underneath the floorboards of the brilliant Buckingham Palace. So hankies at the ready, because this was the week that it was announced what would be the final date for Harry and Meghan's duties as senior members of the British royal family, and that will be next week at Commonwealth Day. So Meghan Markle arrived back in town, but a lot of people were saying, has Markle lost her sparkle? She was here, of course, alongside Prince Harry at the Endeavour Awards, something that's very, very loyal to his heart. The awards was a very successful event, making lots of money, and Meghan herself looked absolutely stunning and beautiful in a Victoria Beckham blue dress. Up there, of course, promoting British fashion. But a lot of the media felt that Harry's totally changed. Now, if you think about this, a week before, he was at Abbey Road Studios with the rocker Jon Bon Jovi. He was there to launch an Invictus charity single. And we got flashes back of the old Harry, the jokey, fun, sort of interacting Harry that we'd grown to love and adore. Now, when Meghan was back in town last night, naturally, he only had highs for her. But where it gets more interesting is the media themselves do seem to paint Meghan as someone who's taken away their prince, run off to Canada, and actually not given as much for her royal return. Let's not forget she enjoyed a stupendous wedding, lots of goodwill, and of course lots of fans emerged from around the world. After her battle with Her Majesty the Queen over the use of the term Sussex Royal, it now remains to be seen whether she can kiss and make up with the remainder of the royal family, or indeed, once their royal duties have concluded early next week, will she return to the US and hardly be seen here in Britain for good. One thing for sure though is the British public are very upset by the fact that baby Archie seems to have disappeared. Now, as we know, when she was expecting baby Archie, she wanted to do things differently. She certainly didn't want to pose on the steps of a hospital, a la Kate, once she'd given birth. We had to wait a long time, in fact, to see baby Archie, with some very cryptic snaps on social media. But what a lot of people are basically saying is, look, Her Majesty the Queen is 93 years old. Wouldn't it make sense to bring along the baby so that the Queen and, of course, the aging Duke of Edinburgh could get to see, of course, baby Archie in the flesh? As ever, Meghan and Harry create lots of debate. Let me know what you think on the comments below. In other news this week, it was revealed that when Charles does become king, it will seem that Camilla will not be his queen, but just his consort. Now, this really divided a lot of people over here in the United Kingdom, simply because Camilla hasn't really put a foot wrong now in decades. Very supportive, obviously making Prince Charles very happy, and of course now very much loved by a vast majority of the British public. It started a debate, and of course this debate is a very contentious subject. So many people, as rightly so, still adore and love the late great Princess Diana. But as William and Harry have said, they've embraced Camilla into their lives, so why shouldn't others be proud and happy that Prince Charles has finally found happiness himself, and shouldn't then Camilla become our rightful queen? The debate, no doubt, will rage on. So Meghan Markle seems to get attacked by all and sundry, or does she? Here on this show we like to tell you the truth from the myths, and this week myths come from Dame Joan Collins. Dame Joan was out and about in Hollywood where she was stopped by some paparazzi, and she was asked simply this, that Meghan Markle would like to play a superhero for, of course, the genius that is Marvel on screen. According to the media, Dame Joan laughed and walked off. The media interpreted this as that Joan was being rather spiteful against Meghan and wasn't really saying she was a good actress. That truly isn't the case. Dame Joan is a true royalist who is absolutely thrilled to become a Dame of the British Empire. And I think what she was personally laughing at was the fact, of course, that they were approaching her to try and get her to be spiteful. It could be taken either way, but my particular camp is with Dame Joan, naturally. Now, if like me you love everything about Her Majesty the Queen, you will have noted a story earlier this week in which the media got all excited because Her Majesty, the very first time, was wearing gloves at an investiture. Now, what really happens there is it's such an exciting thing, isn't it? I mean, not just to receive an award from Her Majesty the Queen, but to be presented to you by her must be absolutely thrilling. Now, the rumour was, of course, that she was scared about the coronavirus outbreak. And the reason why this was really heightened was the day after, when she met the President of Malta, she wasn't wearing gloves. Now, naturally, at a ripe old age of 93, you can imagine the reason why she wanted to take all health precautions. But I am told that Queen Victoria, when she did the same thing and gave out awards and met people, always wore gloves. So perhaps Queen Elizabeth was simply harking back to a time of old. And no need to panic, because if Her Majesty's not wearing gloves and shaking hands and meeting the public, then why should we be scared? I hope you've enjoyed all the latest breaking royal stories over the last 7 days with me, Neil Sean, live and exclusive directly from London. Now, don't forget to like, share and comment, and let me know exactly what you think about our wonderful British royal family and the stories that they're creating. Until next time, I'm Neil Sean. I'll see you soon.